again. Greetings, 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 greetings. Brothers and sisters all over the world, welcome again to another episode of Positive Lifestyle Management. My name is Fee Taylor, and that's my brother, Santario Midnight Saints. And today we're gonna kick it on the call, heeding the call, So, but before we start, I would like for everyone to hit those like buttons, hit that notification bell, send in your comments, and subscribe to Positive Lifestyle Management, as well as Reconstructing Minds, Inc. And also, I want to give out shots to all the men and women across the world, man, who are doing something positive with their lives and not just sitting around doing negativity. So with that, we're going to open up the floor today. And what's up, my brother Midnight? What's going on with you, man?
What's going on, Brother Fee, man? It's just another great day, man. We got a great topic, a great discussion, man. We're just going to really open up America's eyes to, the call on the injustices that we face today. We see many injustices exist within our law system, from the executive to the legislative to the judicial system. So we have to be able to allow our minds to, really tap into the political systems, and not only the political system, but just knowing the law. You know what I mean, and knowing what public law, common law, and different things pertaining to the legislative system and how it works.
You're right, because we have to be able to understand, man, that America is a nation of laws.
Right.
It is a nation of law. There's a law for everything. There's federal law, there's state law, there's local law, they got all kind of laws, man. You got civil law, criminal law, so there's laws everywhere. And I look at it like this here. There's so much injustice that's occurring in society, man, that we are not paying attention to what's actually occurring. And what's occurring right before our eyes is total injustice, not only to the peoples in our community, but to peoples all over America. Let's look at this here. January the 6th, disgruntled and misled American citizens stormed the Capitol building in Washington, D.C.
Exactly.
Right? This building hadn't been stormed before.
Never
but
in
now
history.
You have American citizens storming the Capitol on the words of those who were in leadership at that particular time. I'm talking about representatives, I'm talking about senators, I'm talking all the way up to the president of the United States.
Exactly.
They stormed Capitol Hill.
Exactly.
And nobody that actually created it or started it is paying the cost for
it. Exactly.
They still free. They still in the United States Senate. They still in the United States Representative. The president, the ex-president, is going on with his life. He's still crying this conspiracy theory like he won the presidency. And everybody is just, and the only people that's paying the price for it is the misled, misguided citizens that went in. So let me ask this question, though. This is a question. Was that an injustice towards the whole United States of America? Did that affect everybody, or did it only affect a few people?
No, it affected everybody, especially the voters, because during that time, they were actually in the White House solidifying the votes that were needed for the presidency. True. You know what I'm saying? Mike Pence was already getting threatening calls because he was the one in position to validate those votes for the United States president. You know what I mean? And, what makes it so bad, you have people from all over the United States pinpointed that day on what happened. You know what I mean? I'm talking about all the states where the electoral votes were counted. You know, they all sent them in to the White House, and they were getting ready to validate all those electoral votes, with the Vice President Michael Pence having the last say so in that matter. And you know, it was so crazy because he was even threatened by the former president Trump himself.
Okay, let me ask you this here. I've heard, I stay on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
I am a CNN junkie, if you want to call that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I love watching the news. I love watching MSNBC. I even watch Fox News to see the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to be biased in my news. I try to see all sides of a particular coin.
Exactly.
But the one thing that I'm hearing is that the pundits and a lot of people are saying, don't blame the presidents for others' actions, right? So they don't want you to blame Trump, Cruz, Brooks, Hawley. They don't want you to blame the girl from out of Marjorie Green Taylor. They don't want you to blame none of these people for what the citizens does, right? But let me ask this here question. But then why are they blaming Larry Hoover, Mr. Larry Hoover, for people's actions that he don't even know?
I mean,
why are they
you gotta
still blaming him?
You got to look at it, man. I mean, this is bigger. You know what I'm saying? This is a very broad, you know what I'm saying, situation. You know what I mean? Here it is. This man, all the way leading up into the point into, you know what I'm saying, him thinking that he won the presidency. You know, his mind was fixed that he won. And then when he didn't win, he was doing any and everything necessary to try to keep those votes from getting validated. But in Mr. Larry Hoover's situation, you have a black man, you know what I mean, who has been influential into changing the younger generation's lives. And, you know, for some odd reason within their minds, they still feel like, oh, he's controlling a criminal enterprise being locked down and he has no voice. You know, he is in the highest security prison within the United States, ADX Supermax in Florence, Colorado. He has no voice on what's going on, but yet and still, you know, they say that he's influential. He possesses leadership skills. He does this and he does that. But here it is. He don't talk to nobody but his family members.
Let me say this here. I'm gonna read a snippet out of the judge's order, right? These are the judge's words.
Right.
And I'm gonna pay attention to a few words in there because we're gonna break these words down. It said, this is on page 13 of the order. It says, to the extent that any one person can deter another to commit crimes, Hoover's life imprisonment symbolically demonstrates that the rule of law reaches even those in power who seem untouchable. Here's the word that I'm looking for in there.
Symbolic.
Symbolically. So y'all have made this man out of a public example, something that's symbolic. This is a symbolic that we're going to hold you up to the public so that you can be the face of deterrence. We are going to hold you up to say, if anybody else do this here, this is what's going to happen to you. Not the law now, because now, mind you now, the judge also in this order, excuse me, I want to say this here. We're going to be breaking this order down for y'all, you know what I'm saying? So we just giving y'all a few snippets. So I'm just going through it right now, but we're going to do a whole episode of Positive Lifestyle Management's awareness session on this order. But I'm just breaking it down a few snippets right now so that y'all can get an understanding on what's really going on with this situation. They saying Okay, we know the law apply to you. We know that everything that's in your favor and that you're supposed to be on the streets. We know
Right.
this here. We know this. But due to the fact that you are Mr. Larry Hoover, and you have or had people following you because it's no longer part of the organization that he once built. Like he said, that organization don't even exist no more. You know, he said this himself. This is also what he said. And this is on page 5 of that same order. He said, now at this time, he went in front of the Illinois Parole Board in 2014. He did an interview with the parole board trying to get parole from the Illinois Department of Corrections. So they asked him a question. They say, when questioned as to his current participation and involvement, inmate Hoover denied any involvement or level of participation. He further stated that the organization that he created had been dismantled and is no longer the same organization. So who dismantled it? The government dismantled it. It's over with. It's done. It said inmate Hoover finally stated that he was convicted in the media for crimes he never committed because the media painted a distorted picture of him. And they still paint a distorted picture of him. Right now today, the man been gone 48 years. 48 years.
25 years in isolation, extreme isolation.
So, man, listen, man. I want the American people to understand that this is not just about Larry Hoover himself, but this is also about you.
Exactly.
Because you could be the next Larry Hoover. And then they're gonna hold you up symbolically and show that, hey, if you do this here, this is what we're gonna do to you.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Come on, women. We're gonna have to get on board. Because when the police do something wrong, the first thing they'll tell you is don't blame the police, the whole police, law enforcement. Don't blame everybody in law enforcement for a few rogue police for what they did. Don't blame everybody. But why do you blame one man for the actions of people that he don't even know? And you blaming him where as though you know you can't charge him because you know he ain't got nothing to do with none of this stuff. We have to get him out, man. We have to get him out. Everybody made a lot of noise for Nelson Mandela. People's made noise for a lot of other political prisoners that's been locked up. They made noise for the brother Reuben Hurricane Carter. Why ain't nobody making no noise for Mr. Larry Hoover? They made all this noise and hoopla about Bill Cosby. Why ain't nobody making no noise about him? Where the celebrities at? Where all the famous people's at? Where the United States representatives at? Where the senators at? Where we at? This ain't got nothing to do with no particular family. This got something to do with the human family right now, man. Because it is an injustice that's affected everybody, man. And we sitting around doing nothing. And I'm not talking about those that's on the front line, those who really care and love and putting their sacrifice in to help free this brother. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ones who has the influence. I'm talking about the ones who have the voice. Jay-Z can go get Desiree Perez out of prison to get her pardon and all that, and she's a rat. Why they at? Where they at? How you can help a rat, but you want to help a man that stand up? How you can put your name behind that? That's why I tip my hat to Kanye West. Yeah, Kanye West do some stuff, man, that I don't particularly agree with. But Kanye West had enough kahunas to sit down in the White House and tell that man, that president, hey man, free that man. And everybody want to call him crazy. All right, that make him crazy. Then, well, man, Lord, I mean, we need more crazy people like him.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And you know, I was kind of upset because they say, oh, he crazy or he bipolar, he this and that. But out of all these famous people, out of all of them, he was the only one who said, look, I'm going to take the initiative and I'm going to talk to the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, and ask him to pardon Mr. Larry Hoover.
Man, I tip my hat to that man. I tip my hat to that man. You know, we have to become more conscious as a people.
Exactly.
Because we living in this me society. It's a selfish me society where people only see what's affecting them.
Exactly.
They cannot see outside of their own little small, minuscule world. Let me show you something, brother. I had one of my childhood friends. He's a good friend of mine, man. I'm not gonna say his name. But he reached out to me yesterday and said, listen, man, why don't you tell the story of your life? Tell them about that little 11-year-old boy that come up on the west side of Chicago. You know what I told that man? I said, it's not about me to tell my life story, man. It's about somebody else to tell my life story. I'm trying to help somebody else, man. I'm not sitting here trying to make myself, big up myself for to make me seem more than what I am. I was the typical 11-year-old child that grew up in the ghetto, and it was many that came before me, during my time, and after me. I'm trying to help somebody else. Because that man need help. That man been in prison for almost 48 years. How much longer do we got to do? They in there all kind of homosexuals, booty bandits, axe murderers, people, man, let all these people out, child molesters.
Exactly.
They let the dude, man, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, but it's crazy though. You take Mr. Larry Hoover, a person who has earned anywhere from 100 to 1,000 credited hours of education. But here it is, you let all these pedophiles and you know what I'm saying, all these different kind of people out. But here it is, this man ain't said nothing to nobody, he ain't did nothing to nobody. And here it is, they wanted to keep them trapped inside a box like he's an animal. You know what I'm saying? Inhumane living.
Let me show you something, brother. I'm gonna read another snippet from this order from the judge. And this goes with his education and rehabilitation. And this is exactly what you just hit on. This is on page 17 of the order. It's a 19-page order to be exact. This is what it says. The court, now this goes to what you just said, brother. Say the courts agree that Hoover's punishment is particularly grim and lacking in rehabilitative opportunity. It is difficult for Hoover to receive rehabilitative treatment when subject to such extreme isolation. Come on, man. Hold on. Let me read this again, because I don't think people's caught what I just said.
Yeah.
The court agrees that Hoover's punishment is particularly grim and lacking in rehabilitative opportunities. It is difficult for Hoover to receive rehabilitative treatment when subject to such extreme isolation. So the judge noticed here. He know it. And he still denied the man because this is a symbolic gesture. Not that the fact that this is a 70-year-old man who's been locked up almost 48 years, whose health is failing him, that he's not being rehabilitated properly, but you're gonna still hold him in isolation? You're gonna still hold him in prison? But now, man, this is getting beyond where it should be at. And I'm talking to all those who also are in the know. It's time out for the bullshit. I don't normally be cursing on here, and I be trying to show as much respect as I possibly can. But it's time out for the BS, man. It's time for those that are in the know to get in the room and sit down and say, hey, man, this is what we need to do. We have to preserve this man's legacy, man. We have to do everything in our power to fight on the same page, to be on the same championship team. We are on the same team, all of us. All the rest of that nonsense got to go out the door, man. So let's move out, man. You got brothers like us. You got a lot of other people around America, man. We sitting here, man. I don't know nothing about no social media, bro. I was talking to a brother today. Man, I don't know nothing about no social media, man, when it comes to doing these platforms. All these people's got all these elaborate platforms and everything. My platform is basically this. And I speak and I say what I have to say. I'm not afraid of the government. I'm not afraid of no police. I'm not afraid of anybody because I'm not doing anything wrong. So what are you afraid of? What do you fear? Fear is an illusion.
But you know what? You know what I think, though? I don't think it's necessarily fear.
Explain it then.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is because you just got some of these individuals who just don't care. They know what he's going through, but they ain't trying to stand up and be counted. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is because you got just some of these individuals who just want to see him locked up, no matter what he do. You know what I'm saying? They talking about within the confines of the motion denial that he lacks rehabilitation, but at the same time, y'all ain't doing nothing for him to get his rehabilitation. And these same people who saying free Mr. Larry Hoover, them are some of the same ones that want to see him locked up for the rest of his life.
I believe that. I truly believe that. And I agree with you. I truly do agree with you. But why do you want to see a man locked up for the rest of his life and he's been locked up 48 years? This man is 70 years old. He ain't even involved in nothing no more. People that's helping him are people that really love him, man. It's like, let me show you this here. I ain't never met Nelson Mandela. But as a young man, I was all about, man, freeing Nelson Mandela. I didn't know Leonard Peltier, the native brother that had the murders on the 2 federal agents that came on the reservation. He caught the 2 murders, but I was always been about free Leonard Peltier. Same way I've been about freeing Mumia Abdul Jamal. Same way I've been a friend about Jeff Ford and Gino Colon and any other person that's locked up, man, that's been locked up. Atula Shakur, whose health is failing him. When I was on my way to Butler, North Carolina, fighting cancer, this was December the 20th, 2018, and I was getting off the plane. They was putting Atula on the plane to go back to Florence, Colorado, USP. He was leaving Buckner. I was going to Buckner. I seen him. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I've always been pro freedom, free that man. Seriously, man, you ain't got to be a part of Larry Hoover or to really say I want to help free him. Come on, man, that's nonsense, man, with the government running and they got people scared to even stand next to this man. It's like the
Yeah.
judge made this order, man. This order is a bunch of crap, man. This order says this here in so many words. Hey, man, my hands are tied. I'm gonna send it up to the 7th Circuit. Hey, man, you could. I'm gonna deny this motion without prejudice to refile. So you can refile it and you can appeal it. You can do all that. But I just want to get it out of my hand because I know if I rule in your favor, that's political suicide for me.
Exactly.
So he passed the buck. That's like he kicked the can down the road, man.
That's exactly what he did.
He just kicked the can down the road. Then he used some old lame excuses for denying the man. After you say the man, knowing that the man, the law applies to the man never had no drug amount. All this is inside this order, man. And you still deny this man? Because you're trying to send a symbolic message. You know what I'm saying? What's the symbolism in just holding this man up? Y'all have nailed him to the cross like he Jesus. What is this? The Pontius Pilate thing? You know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier in the Bible.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So he's Pontius Pilate, and then he's Pontius Pilate. Whereas though he finna
what he didn't wash his hands with it.
I'm gonna wash my hands with this here, man. Hey, I'm gonna pass it on. So
you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let them deal with it at the 7th Circuit, and whatever they decide, that's on them.
Right, they overturn it, then my hands is clean because I kept the ruling the way it's supposed to be. Come on, man, let's cut this out, man. Hey, man, all the peoples, man, over the United States of America. I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, Latino, whatever you are, Native, man, y'all need to stand up and speak, man. Let your voices be heard. This is a total injustice, man. This ain't got nothing to do with no growth and development, no gangster disciples, or no vice lords, stones, and none of this stuff, man.
They forget they're human beings.
Man, this is a human rights issue, man. And we have to make it exactly what it is, a human rights issue. The man is no longer a part of what they're saying he's a part of. He even told them himself, I am not a part of that. I don't have no participation in that. I ain't got no involvement in this here. And then they still gonna try to use some old nonsense about somebody try to send them a note, a purported leader. What is a purported leader? A purported leader. What do that word purported mean? Assume?
Exactly.
Alleged? An alleged leader, or assumed leader, somebody that's assuming to be a leader? Man, this stuff don't make no sense, man.
And then they don't have no base to really, you know what I'm saying, say that. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no real evidence. You know what I mean? It's like he say, she say out in the world, somebody go to a woman and say, oh, he doing this, that, and the third. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? We gonna make sure that he don't get away with this because we've been hearing it. You know, it's he say, she says, but it's so crazy because it's at the highest level of society when it comes to the government. You know what I mean? They play those type of games.
Let me tell you something else too. It's gonna be an indictment. This indictment that came down. There's gonna be some more indictments that's gonna come down. And once they try to tie this man in with all the rest of the stuff, this man ain't got nothing to do with none of the stuff, man.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, man. People don't want to see this man home, like you said, bro. But for all of y'all, man, that love this man, man, and you love him, man, because you know it's the right thing to do, man, stand up, man. All you entertainers, politicians, sports figures, man, stand up. Community activists, stand up. Speak.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna keep a lot of them from standing up. They don't want to lose no money.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. You more concerned about losing some money and losing your way of living. Money was here before you came, and money gonna be here when you leave. Man, I ain't had money, been broke, been homeless. I ain't been everything.
Yeah, but see,
and I ain't never allowed it to make me.
It's all about your personal status. You know what I mean? A lot of these people love money.
So they love
You know what I'm
status
saying?
then. They
Yeah,
love
they
to
love
be,
status. Yeah,
they,
they love they well how they live. And if it affects the way they live, they ain't gonna invest nothing into seeing someone being freed who has served 2 lifetimes plus. See, back in the day, 20 years was considered a lifetime, a lifetime in the prison system.
that's a generation. 20
Exactly,
years is a generation.
exactly. So you go a decade, a generation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just look at this. You know, he served almost a half a century.
You know what? I want to thank you, bro, for always, man, heeding the call, man. Whenever you called upon, man, you always stand up, bro, and you will always come to the rescue, man, and to help out, man. And for that, man, I tip my hat to you, brother. It's an honor and it's a pleasure just knowing you and being around you, man. Your spirit is so genuine. I have not once heard you say nothing about nothing monetarily, you know what I'm saying? You don't care about that, bro. And that's the right thing, man. Look at us, man. We both sitting in a room, and we ain't got no big offices. We ain't got no big elaborate nothing, man, to make us look like we really more than who we are. Man, we are just two brothers who love being on the right side of history, man. And that's for righteousness, man. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna stand up for you, and I put that call out to any and everybody, man. If you need me to stand up for right, I don't care who it is. I'm gonna stand up for right. So with that being said, man, I want you to lead the peoples with some parting shots, man, before we close out, bro.
Man, you know, the biggest thing I want to tell everybody, man, either you're gonna stand for something or you're gonna fall for anything, man. You know, here we have a gentleman who has done almost 48 years of his life in prison. You know what I mean? 25 years in strong silence, limited to only his lawyer, his wife, and his children. I tell you what, if it was your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncle, your brother, what would you do? What would you do? But since it ain't somebody next to you, oh, he did this, he did that. Edit any and every person, I believe, this is just my personal belief, deserves a chance. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I'm not big on religion. I'm big on relationship. You know what I'm saying? And when I say this, I say this. You know what I'm saying? All these people who claim that they love God. You know what I'm saying? You go through the Bible from the beginning to end, all those people did something wrong.
That's right.
Every last one of them. From Moses to the Apostle Paul, who wrote 2/3 of the New Testament. Matter of fact,
Paul was on the road to Damascus to persecute Christians.
Exactly.
Apostle
But
Paul
here it
started out
is.
as a Pharisee and said,
Exactly.
that's right.
Exactly. Moses killed somebody and then ran.
Yeah. Look what
You know
King
what I'm
David did.
Exactly. He sent the man to the front line, had him killed,
just so he can get his wife.
And took his wife. But when I say that to say this, brothers and sisters, I say that to say this. Free yourself from the standards of society and follow your heart and do what is right. The law can be just as twisted as anything else in this world. We have to stand for the injustices that we face day to day to day. We see what's going on in this world. You see all these innocent black men and women being murdered by the police. We see these things. And now because they think it's symbolic to hold him in prison for the rest of his life for nothing. Stand for what's right. Stand for what's right. Because this can be your dad, your uncle, your brother, whoever it don't matter. You either stand for something or you fall for anything. And that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you for those words of wisdom, brother. And you are absolutely correct when you went back into the Bible, because it's a lot of our brothers and sisters. I ain't gonna just say brothers and sisters. I'm not just dealing with color. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about men and women, brothers and sisters all over the world, man. That
All over the
believe
world.
wholeheartedly in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Circle 7, in the Torah, and everything. And so if you believe in these things, so that means you have to believe in forgiveness and a second chance. So if you know you believe in this, don't be afraid to stand up for what's right. Don't be afraid.
Don't
stand
be afraid.
up. And with that being said, I want to close out by saying, hit those like buttons, hit that notification bell, send in your comments, and subscribe to Positive Lifestyle Management. Once again, heed the call by standing up for right. And with that being said, there's another episode of Positive Lifestyle Management Awareness Session. Peace.
Peace.